Hey everyone, welcome to the Osmosis launch party. It's time.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
We're lucky to have
Hello.
Sunny here and Andre. And Sunny's actually one of the
Yeah.
mad scientists over at Osmosis Labs. He's going to be giving everyone a bit of a background on osmosis. So I can't imagine how excited you are, Sunny. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So osmosis is something that's been in the work for, I mean, I guess it kind of depends on where you want to start the starting point, maybe, if it's like when we started, like, all right, let's do this full time, or it's when the code started, maybe when osmosis started, when Cosmos started, I don't know, depends on where you want to define the starting point. But, the original Cosmos, like, white paper and stuff actually did talk about this, like, idea of how to do, like, a DEX and stuff for the interchain. And yeah, so we were, Dave and I were, we ran the Sika validator, and then we had Josh and Tony. They have Synapsis, which built the Kepler wallet, and both of us were like, so Dave and I, like, we were like, oh, validators are fun, but we really just like to build stuff, and so we want to build stuff. And then same with the Kepler team, where they're like, yeah, wallets are fun, and like, we're going to spend a lot of time on this, but like we also just want to have like, build some application. And so our two companies kind of like merged essentially, and we're like, all right, let's start building out this osmosis thing. And we were looking at what was going on in DeFi and like on Ethereum, and there was like just so much cool stuff happening with like AMMs. I wrote a blog post about a year ago talking about like, hey, AMMs are really cool and like have so much potential, but they're so simple right now. And this is like back like, maybe March 2020. And it's crazy how much AMMs have actually developed in just the last year. In the course of a year, you had Balancer and Curve pop up, and you even had Balancer V2, Curve V2, Uniswap V3, like all these like crazy innovations. But, we really like these AMM stuff, but I think there's like even more stuff that we can do with them. And so our plan is like to take, what we've done is we've taken like some ideas from like all of the best AMMs on Ethereum right now and brought them into the Cosmos ecosystem via osmosis. And then the next step we're going to do is like start to add in all the superpowers that you can only get from being like a sovereign Cosmos chain.
But why between all the AM you can choose from Ethereum to take inspiration of? Like, why Balancer was bad determinant at the end of the day for osmosis creation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so I think it comes from what we really like about is like flexibility. I mean, I think like, I consider the Cosmos mindset as a whole. Like, I haven't been able to like put in like come with the best terminology for it yet, but like something I've always thought about is what is the Cosmos mindset? And I think it's really about like, really thinking about sovereignty and flexibility and like, localist systems where it's like, okay, instead of having like one top-down governed system, you have like, okay, all this experimentation that's happening. And like, that's what Cosmos zones are, right? It's like, okay, anyone can pop up new zones with different parameterizations. I think this is, there's a lot of projects within the Cosmos ecosystem that adopt this sort of mindset as well. And so out of the ones on Ethereum, I think we just saw that Balancer had that was the closest to the balance to like this Cosmos mindset, where it's like, okay, anyone can create a new pool with like, on Uniswap, it's like, okay, or at least on V2, they're like, okay, you have to use this swap fee. You have to use 0.3% as your swap fee. On V3, they're like, okay, you have 3 choices. Meanwhile, Balancer is like, yeah, no, choose whatever swap fee you want, and then all the pools will start competing, and the market will figure out what the optimal swap fee is. And this just really resonated with us, and just the amount of flexibility when it comes to pool weights and just the idea of multi-asset pools. Yeah, I think it was just the most powerful AMM we saw at the time. And like I said, I think we've taken ideas from other AMMs as well. A lot of our, ideas about like the bonded liquidity gauges, that is very heavily inspired from Curve. A lot of the ideas of how to do like liquidity mining at all is like inspired by Sushi. A lot of the token emission model is kind of inspired in part from Thorchain. Yeah, I think we've taken ideas from like, all of the different AMMs.
And that's great. Like
so
one thing
it's
I would
truly
like to
a next generation.
Yeah, but my point is maybe like, yeah, we are talking about flexibility and like experimentation and give to people a possibility to like build their at the end of the day. But the point is, who are the real target of Osmosis? Like final user, we're talking about developers, we're talking about enterprises, we're talking about like other projects in the Cosmos ecosystem. Who are the target?
Yeah, so I mean, I think as with a lot of DeFi products, you sort of have to have this like multi-party like system where like there's a couple of different classes of target users. And so, the two main ones, I guess, for us would be the LPs and the swappers or the traders, if you want to call it. And so, because both are sort of necessary to the functioning of the system, because the LPs are the ones who come and are sort of like the service providers, and that's who we wanted to incentivize, right? They're the ones who are bringing the liquidity into the system and providing this service to the traders. And so that's why a lot of like the liquidity mining incentives are going to these LPs. But then at the end of the day, the ultimate beneficiary user is the traders, they're the ones who are actually making the swaps, because they want to go convert atoms to AKT or Iris to DVPN or whatever they're trying to do, right? Because they want to go use the products in these ecosystems. And so, yeah, we have to target on how to get both of them. I think for now, the step-by-step would be LPs are sort of the highest priority, especially at the beginning when, if we have a bunch of traders come in and they see that there's like no liquidity, then that would kind of not serve their purposes really well. And so and you kind of get into a catch-22 a little bit, where if there's no traders, then why would anyone want an LP? They're not going to be earning anything. And so that's where the liquidity mining incentives come in, sort of as a way to break this like chicken and egg problem a little bit. And then yeah, also, like you mentioned, the other piece as well is like there's people who can help with like curve design and stuff like this. So at the moment, the current version is just this like balancer V1 style curve. But over time, we want people who can come design new curves. We have the governance feature. We actually had to remove it. We had it in the launch. We moved it from the launch version because we didn't get to put it through the proper testing that we normally like to do. But in the next version, we'll have the ability to do like governance of pools. So a pool can say, okay, we're currently a 50-50 pool of this side. Maybe we want to start to move towards being a 60-40 pool, or maybe our swap fee is too low and we want to increase it. And so we're definitely looking as well for the people who are like, really good governors of these systems, who really understand the math behind AMMs and like how to optimize them so that they can step up as these like community leaders and help with this like governance process of upgrading these AMMs over time.
Okay, and I will do like the very, very bad question, because a lot of people is waiting for this. Why did you build like an AMM like in your own app and not trying to deploy it in the Cosmos Hub?
Yeah, so the reason we built it, on our own chain, this is always sort of the point of the Cosmos whole ecosystem, right? The entire point was these application-specific blockchains. And so when we started, we were like, yeah, obviously this is how you build in Cosmos. And then, things started like, the Osmosis started basically back in October of last year. So at the time, there wasn't a lot of discussion around putting a DEX on the hub. Once the discussion around like putting a DEX on the hub sort of got really started, we thought to ourselves like, hey, maybe, should Osmosis just be this hub DEX, and should we put this on the hub? And then we kind of like came to the conclusion that it doesn't really make sense for a couple of reasons. And for the reasons we always knew, which is why application-specific blockchains are good, is that, we want to have that faster, access to like governance and we have, as we go on, I mentioned these superpowers that we're going to have. These are, we want to be able to assign more and more tasks to our validators. So we have stuff for threshold decryption, which is basically a way of doing front running prevention. But this is something okay, validators have to run this additional software. Or we want validators eventually to provide price oracle, external price feed oracles, because I think there's a lot of cool things with AMM design that you can do if you have an external price feed oracle. And so, we need we expect Osmosis to upgrade very quickly, add these sort of features in a time scale that I think the hub is not really meant to do right now. And on top of that, the other pieces, we also needed a way to incentivize these liquidity providers. And, like I mentioned, break that catch-22, make sure the LPs have a strong sense of ownership over this platform. And that comes via giving, that comes via having a native token that could do that. And so, the only thing though is that what we did want is the ability to do some sort of shared security system with the Cosmos Hub, because we expect there to be a lot of liquidity flowing into Osmosis, and it would be really nice if we were able to secure that via the market cap of AMMs, which is the largest market cap in the Cosmos ecosystem right now, and having a way to provide the functionality of a sovereign chain, but with the security of the Cosmos Hub. I think that's will be the really big killer feature. We're looking forward to switching over to that when it's available.
Okay, I think with this
Awesome,
point,
yeah.
will be interesting to listen from Andrea. How was launch from a validator perspective, and also as validator listening to Sunny, what he expects from validators. What is your point of view What is your expectation from now on?
Well, the launch was quite smooth. We had a couple hour delay just because we were waiting some validators, but at the end everything was smooth. And we have now 6-second block time, and the chain is just running very smooth. So from a validator perspective, it was just another Cosmos chain. So very simple, very easy. In the future, even if validator will need additional software, I think it's totally fine. The model that Osmosis is using right now, I think we permit all this kind of additional operation also for validators. So I'm very excited, and finally we can see IBC under real usage. So that's super interesting, and I can't wait to see more.
One of my teammates is saying "Oh, don't walk behind me," but no, I actually want to show off. Look at a lot of our team is actually here right now. So.
The team.
Unfortunately,
hi guys.
Yeah, we have unfortunately we had more people here as well, but because of the whole launch being pushed back by 2 days, some people had to leave. But it's really excited. It was really fun to actually. We actually got to meet the entire team for the first time here. We're I actually just because of pandemic and because half the team is in Korea, we actually I've never met large portions of the team, and so it was really fun to actually get to come here for the launch and meet them.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
awesome. Can I interrupt real quick and ask? I actually wanted to ask JD. JD, what's your perspective? How do you feel about the launch? You kind of have the community perspective, so.
Yeah, as a member of the community, I've been very excited about this ever since there was a tweet from Sunny that said something's brewing. That day, I knew that the future was coming, and I wanted to be a part of it. Once all the name and everything came out, I have to say I was impressed with the branding, and I really enjoyed it. It sounded all very engaging. And as I started getting into it, reading into the experimentation and how each pool is individually governed by the liquidity providers, by the people using the platform, I thought that was very empowering to the community, in that we actually have a platform to go to where we're in control of what's going on. If if you don't like this pool, you know what, you can create your own pool. And I think that's absolutely incredible that we have this sort of capability with Cosmos technology. And just especially as everything was coming up, the Cosmos Osmosis is just I like the philosophical perspective. I was very sold on that osmosis is not the answer to anything. It's a process of discovery. So we don't know what it is. We know it's an AMM laboratory. We don't know what it's going to be capable of. And I'm just very happy to be part of the journey of discovering that.
That's a good point.
Are you, Sunny, going to right now, like you have a launch, you are all happy, like the team is amazing, like I love Tony, like I don't know. But are you going to expand the team now? Like, do you have any plan? Like, do you plan to stay a small core team, have multiple core team? Like, how is your vision about the growth of the Osmosis like team?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I mean, I think we are definitely looking to expand the team. I think, one of the things that, when you're building like a sovereign chain, for better or for worse, it also does come with a lot of additional things that you have to sort of build, right? Like, sometimes when you're building on Ethereum, Ethereum just has so much of these like network, like existing tooling and things like this. And when in the Cosmos ecosystem, I think it's still, I think we're still much earlier than like, and some of this tooling just doesn't exist. And like, for example, we need to get Bitcoin onto Osmosis, right? Like, what would be the point of a DEX without Bitcoin? And so it's like, but like on Ethereum, it's easy. We have WBTC, and you can just like integrate it into your system. But in Osmosis, we were so like, oh, where's the BTC? And so we need to like, bring people on in order to build that. And so how we're going to go about doing that, I think it's sort of a process of that we're discovering. I think, we want to expand the core team and like add more people. But at the same time, there's been a lot of like super great like external contributors. So for example, there's actually going to be 2 front ends for Osmosis that's available, in the next like couple of days. Where the one is that our team built, which was the normal front end. You can do swaps and liquidity and stuff. But then this other team realized that like, hey, where's the uniswap.info? So uniswap.info is like the front end that shows you all the historical trading and stuff. So there's this team called Imperator, and we started working with them, and they built out this like osmosis.info essentially, and that you can see the historical price and historical liquidity and like all providing all this API access around it. And so we're really excited to see that like more teams are starting to contribute. We're kind of actually running into like a bottleneck where we're like, okay, we can't use Slack anymore because Slack is not really good. Slack is really designed for like these like communications, like organizational communications, and like if you try, and they support like cross things, but it's really slow. It's like, all right, I think we just have to create a Discord with just the amount of like external contributors that we're starting to get. Yeah, we're definitely looking to expand the core team as well, though. So looking to hire, especially for people who are like, Cosmos SDK engineers, or especially also for Tendermint core people, because I think a lot of the innovations that we're going to be doing actually come from maybe a little bit of a lower level on the stack than many people are working at. So a lot of this like threshold decryption and like how we can add more like privacy to the system. Yeah, so definitely reach out to us for that.
Awesome. Well, we do have a great panel with a lot of the representatives of the core teams behind a bunch of the other projects. So I think we're going to move on to that now. It's been a great introduction. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Dini.
Great. Thank you.
Daniela.
Thank you.
JD.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
So hi everyone. Thank you so much for having joined us today. Like we organized this in a really decentralized way. So was all the Cosmos way, all together, all decentralized, all last minute. But as we are here, it's great, really nice. Thank you for coming. So I will ask to all of you first, if you can please present yourself and the project or the team you came from to the people, because maybe not everyone is used or know that good, all the Cosmos projects who are in the panel today. So please, if Greg, you want to start at first.
Sure. My name is Greg Osuri. I'm with Akash Network. I'm just still in shock. I just transferred or I swapped Atom to AKT and I didn't sign a thing. It was beautiful. I'm still in awe and I'm super excited for Akash Network's first decks and Cosmos Network's first decks as well.
I mean, it's amazing, actually, really.
Oh, almost you can see the tears. I don't know if you can, but you know.
I'm not sure we can share the screen, but I have to say that it's impressive the number of projects were based on Akash Network right now, in the cloud, is amazing. There was a growth from the very beginning, really exponential, so fast, amazing. Yeah. Or can we talk about Gregory,
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, good afternoon. Hi, everyone. I'm Gregory, co-founder of Regen Network. Yeah, I'm super amped to see Osmosis live, and yeah, it's pretty excited. So just a little bit of background. So Regen Network is building a public ecological ledger for data, claims, and assets like carbon credits. And so one of our big moments earlier this year was selling a bunch of carbon credits to Microsoft, and we launched our mainnet back in April. And yeah, just super excited. And for those of you who don't know, Osmosis will be our first public price discovery moment. And so we've been working with the Osmosis team to do a liquidity bootstrapping pool, which is a really fantastic way to get price discovery and distribution. And like Greg said, anybody can participate and just swap in and out of Regen and Atoms and Akash, and here we go. This is the future we've all been working towards together, to have this sort of permissionless, censorship resistant economy, and in our case, an economy focused on regeneration and planetary health. And so yeah, just super grateful to be here with everybody. Really excited for the community and the Osmosis team. So yeah, I'm stoked. I'll pass it back to you, Daniela.
Yeah, it's so exciting, because the price discovery is something really new, and I really want to see what happened, what is going to happen. It's so crazy, interchain transfer, price discovery, this year, it's going to be crazy. Cosmos is going really to start be the game changer. This year is the year. Jeffrey, ArisNet, please, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Jeff from ArisNet. I'm a director of research here, and I myself I'm very super excited to see Osmos to be launched today, because we can see many AMMs and other DeFi particles is coming to the Cosmos ecosystem. So we can see many applications maybe later this year. So I'm quite looking forward to this.
Amazing. And I was noticing that basically we have the IBC gang live. I don't know if it's the first time, but really we have all the chain here live with IBC transfers, and this is crazy. Persistence. Happy day.
Hello everyone, I'm Abhitesh. I lead the strategy and marketing at Persistence. At Persistence, we are trying to build multi-chain DeFi products. So our goal is to bring different asset classes to DeFi. And Cosmos has been our destination because of an IBC and collaboration along with all the projects. And Daniel, I guess you put it right. This is the first time all the IBC projects have come together. And I don't know why it's been so late, but we should do it more often. And really excited about Osmosis, as everyone said. We've been in preparation for Osmosis and Gravity Dex ourselves. We just yesterday integrated IBC into our native wallet as well, so people can transfer their XPRT to Cosmos Hub. And now our goal is to launch multiple pools with XPRT on Osmosis. And so super excited about it. The whole experience of creating liquidity pools on Osmosis today was like this exciting moment where you feel, okay, hey, you've been waiting for this DeFi moment in Cosmos for so long. So I guess emotional moment and exciting moment at the same time.
Yeah, and literally tons of things are happening all right now. Like we have like persistent launching the liquid staking, like tons of stuff, really. Sentinel, please, like Exidio,
Yeah.
like actually.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Srinivas from City of Exidio. On this launch party, I'm representing Sentinel. Like Sentinel is as all you know, Sentinel is a decentralized bandwidth sharing marketplace, like where users can be both providers and consumers. Like both can run nodes and can be consuming the bandwidth clients at the same time. We recently, just 2 months back, moved out of Ethereum and moved into like Cosmos ecosystem to completely leverage the IBC protocol and launch multiple DVPN nodes with horizontal scaling, like infinite scaling. So, and also if you look at Sentinel's main vision, also same, like as Cosmos is like building a application based dedicated zone. So similar to that, Sentinel's vision also like build and deploy the multiple zones fully dedicated to DVPN applications. Yeah.
I was moved. Thank you so much for being here. Like Peng, please like present yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do for Tendermint, what do Tendermint, what does Tendermint, everything.
Hey everyone, I'm Peng from Tendermint. We've been working on this Cosmos thing, for pretty long, as I'm sure you guys know. And personally, I've been working with Sunny and Jim for 5 years. Right, we've been doing this stuff for a long time, and they're ex-Tendermint, right? They come from our team, and I'm just incredibly proud to see what they've built. And who joined a little bit later, right? I think Josh Lee, right? Josh Lee joined our team a while later, and he was incredibly instrumental to helping improve developer relations. So Osmosis is the very first DEX launch on Cosmos, and I'm extremely excited about it because this is what we've been waiting for all along, right? We've been building infrastructure since 2014, and 7 years later, we're finally able to start focusing on DeFi applications for the first time. And you're going to see more and more of these pop up as we provide better tools for them, and also as the Cosmos Hub itself provides more ways for DeFi applications to interact with each other. I used the UI myself earlier today, and I know a lot of people in chat are super excited to be able to use it themselves, but it's going to be live very soon. I'm not from the Osmosis team, so I don't know when exactly, but very soon. I'm really stoked, and I want to get some tokens, right? I haven't had time to actually buy any tokens of these other teams here, but that's what I'm going to be doing right after this call.
It's amazing. Like we basically have solved like so well, like already. Okay. Thank you so much for your introduction to who you are, what are you doing for Cosmos, what are you doing for Interchain, and of course, like the Interchain, like we entered the Interchain era with Stargate on February, but now, was a little bit not exposed. Like the Interchain, was live, but yeah, testing. But now, what is going to change with Osmosis? What is going to change with Interchain transfer actively used by user and people?
Can I answer this one? So what's going to change for me is just like Peng said, I am going to go and buy some Akash and some Iris and some Sentinel and some Persistence. These are projects that I love and respect, and our engineering team works with to try to make the Cosmos world better. And I haven't been exposed to any of these awesome projects, and now I get to. And that's the big thing that changes. Just the ease at which we can create shared security by investing in each other, and that we can sort of mutually bootstrap this whole ecosystem. This is so exciting.
Absolutely not financial advice.
Yeah.
I beat you both. I bought a little DVPN, and I bought, a little Osmosis this morning, and I'm adding liquidity. I'm like full degen right now.
Cosmos degens for the first time ever.
CGen.
What I recall hearing Sunny say earlier was talking about shared security with the Cosmos Hub, and I'm really looking forward to pulling that off, with all the other teams, all the other core teams working on Cosmos. And it's not just going to be Osmosis that would benefit from shared security, right? Well, this is something that has recently been announced by Shahan on the Cosmos Hub roadmap. This is something that other chains are going to have as well. So I can even imagine Osmosis having shared security with other chains. So a lot's going to happen very quickly, and the network effects are just going to be astounding.
And it's crazy to think that we went live with IBC not that long ago, and like now just looking at this UI, we have Iris, Persistence, DVPN, all these beautiful chains. Now that was very quick. I didn't expect the adoption to be that quick. So I'm super excited. And I concur with what Peng said. This is going to be network effects on exponential scale.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a great point is that the interchain transfer are going to empower us even more about collaboration, because as a core team, we used to collaborate to talk each other, to coordinate, to cooperate for tasks and work. But now what is really changing for us, I'm talking with project and as well for Peng from a Tendermint point of view, what is going to change for a project point of view? What is the value that other project can bring to yours?
Yeah, so why build on Cosmos? Well, the answer is getting clearer and clearer, right? We have Starport, basically the best way to build sovereign blockchains. And now we have, with the path that Gregory is doing with Osmosis, the Regen Osmosis partnership to do price discovery on Osmosis creates a path to direct, value creation and price discovery for new chains, that come out of your backyard or, your garage. All the stuff we've been doing up until this point, has been us at home in our garage building our own thing. And this is really the step at which we can start transferring data between each other, right? It's like the very first step towards an internet of blockchains, right? Now we're not just in our garages, but we're all in our garages and talking to each other on our ham radios, right? So this is super exciting. There's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built, but this just gives more reason for people to build Cosmos chains in case there weren't enough already.
That's really true. We have really tons of we have a good technology. We have efficiency, sustainability. I'm sure Gregory will talk more about sustainability in his panel, what is coming later. But yeah, I would like to hear from you, specific, because people sometimes hear, the audience can say, yeah, you are telling me that IBC transfer and IBC is a game changer, but how this is going to apply in a way I can see it. Can you make me some example of practical use cases when people can tangible touch, what IBC is and what is the potential of interchain transfers?
I have Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, have you ever imagined transferring BTC to another chain and exchanging for Ethereum in a decentralized manner? So it's currently, if you want to do that, you have to go to a centralized exchange and you have to deposit BTC and have to exchange it for Ethereum. But with the centralized exchanges, there is a problem involved. Like many people are thinking is like they require KYC, and because of privacy concerns, many people are moving towards the DEXs. And I personally like to use DEX because of these reasons. And we recently moved off of Ethereum, right? So we had like Uniswap and IDEX on Ethereum, so which are AMM based DEXs, and we had like a very good amount of liquidity there. But when we moved into the Cosmos, we really had like very low liquidity for Sentinel. And we right now like we have Osmosis, which is the first AMM based DEX in this Cosmos ecosystem. Like I really feel like where you can actually like this Osmos is actually built for the liquidity provider, so where incentivize like 45% of the rewards will be given to the liquidity providers instead of validators. So I feel like there will be a lot of potential here for people to provide liquidity, so where you can transfer any Cosmos IBC based tokens, as well as like when these when with peg tokens you can also exchange ETH and BTC for other Cosmos, other any tokens. Like everything will come into Cosmos now, like I feel. And with the inspiration of this Osmosis, like there will come more zones that are like specifically dedicated to applications. The zones will be dedicated to specific application, and I feel like this is the only possibility way to like build connect million blockchains through the IBC. Yeah, that's where I see the potential with IBC and Osmosis.
And what about like ArisNet? Because I know like you also are building really tons of infrastructures, like bridge, like you have like your own like CoinSwap, like the core team is building Irita, like you are helping the BSN network, like how the enabling of IBC on ArisNet will change like the perception user have about the technology like on ArisNet you are helping to build.
Yeah. Great questions. Because you see that ArisNet actually is a network that can help the distributed applications, especially some applications from the enterprise end. So with IBC, actually all kinds of this kind of system or network can be connected. And first we can see this ICS20, like fungible tokens can be transferred and swapped on on CoinSwap, on the Osmosis, and other AMMs we can expect it in this year. And next, maybe we can complete more particles, especially application particles on list layers. Like maybe you can cross-chain transfer NFTs, and maybe we can do some more apps around the NFTs. Especially like for today's event, we can have maybe NFTs for the audience today. So back to your questions. So what IBC means for ArisNet? I think it is the first is the day we expected for years. We enabled the IBC transfer, and we can see the token transferred. And from today and from this month, we can see the Osmosis. We can see the Gravity DEX. That this kind of the another applications that can be interacted with. So maybe we can expect this kind of LP tokens or maybe liquidity sharing just upon this IBC particles. So the composabilities based on IBC we can really expect for. Yeah, that's my idea.
Thank you so much. Like, how about persistent or Regen Network? How about you guys? Yep. Like, what will be enabled like IBC?
I guess for most important part is when Greg was mentioning about how the cloud. So Greg has been working a lot, and I read a lot of his tweet about how different projects are moving out. How I see IBC placing or shaping is that now in Cosmos itself, multiple different projects have built different sorts of infrastructure. Akash is a great example of dCloud. Sentinel is a great example of DVPN. Now ArisNet and Persistence are great examples of DeFi protocols. Now with IBC, you would be able to create applications which sort of run in in tandem with all of these, right? So in tandem of all these networks. So it is very easy to create an application which sort of uses Akash Network's dCloud, which uses DVPN from Sentinel, and is able to provide value of DeFi on persistence or IDESnet, right? That was not possible in such a sovereign manner earlier, right? So you're sort of sharing the same resources on Ethereum. So same chain resources on Ethereum. It's not possible to do that in a sovereign manner. But today with IBC in Cosmos, you would be able to use different resources in completely sovereign manner, creating like this ecosystem which is very scalable. Same way how you see in Web 2.0, you use APIs and different applications or sort of different plugins from different sources and then put together like an application which is truly scalable. When it comes to persistence as a project, how IBC is changing for us is we have created this liquid staking solution. That was one of the ways for us to bring or connect different projects together. So bring liquidity, so provide liquidity for Cosmos ecosystem itself through our solution and take it to Ethereum, bring Ethereum's potential to Cosmos. So giving exposure to stakeholders on both sides. And then other implementations are like we have been developing this inter-NFT protocol, which is around like creating this interchain standard for NFTs across different chains, right? So in Ethereum, you have ERC 721, which is only one standard. But what happens if my NFTs are sitting on Binance Chain, for example, or sitting on Cosmos itself? How do these NFTs now work together? Because you just have OpenSea. Cosmos NFTs cannot move in there. Or say, for example, today, different chains in Cosmos itself, Iris is there, Persistence is there, different projects are working with these NFTs. How would they come to one place together? And for us, that implementation through IBC becomes much more easier. Now you could have NFTs that can flow in different chains and come to one place from different chains. And they have a similar universal standard, right? So it becomes very easy to adapt as well to different chain standards. So that allowing that composability with the sovereignty is the biggest thing that IBC would enable, right? So we've talked about composability, but composability with sovereignty is the biggest boom that would happen for most of the projects, and especially for us.
Thank you so much. Like, as we are running out of time, like, please, like, I would like to know from all of you, like, DeFi is coming to Cosmos. Like, what for you represent like the game changer? What we are going to see, like the most expected thing that we are going to see from now to the end of the year? Like, Greg.
Oh man, to continue on, like Abhijit's point on like composability over sovereignty. It's a very strong point. I think people don't really can fathom like how that's going to look like. So for me, it'll be fucking great to have run a persistence node or a DVPN node and pay on Akash and pay using the sovereign currency. We can do that right now. So I'm looking to write a guide or something. Maybe I'll put something out for a bounty to do that. As you know, I don't know how many of you saw lots of guys floating around on how to deploy on Akash. Our big theme is resiliency through redundancy, right? So, and also we don't really have long-term storage, or we don't really have all these services one would need to use a cloud. So people come up with amazing ways on how they interoperate, with other services like Skynet or Handshake. And you'll see in the guides, each of them have to hold their own tokens and pay, like individual tokens and pay for these individual services. It's like holding 10 credit cards. I'd love to see that go away and just use AKT to pay for all these services, right? Like, and the problem is real right now. We're seeing with Akash, and IBC is going to solve this. So I think from like a DeFi boom, first of all, like immediately, I mean, Osmosis is just a mind blower, right? Like, swapping with paying like ridiculously low amounts of gas fees. Like, I don't even have to think twice before transferring tokens like I would do in Ethereum ecosystem. So this is just like a game changer. And I think Sunny and team are coming up with the kind of like features like, IL protection, or even like front running protection, all these amazing features that, were not very were not possible in the Ethereum ecosystem are going to come to Cosmos. I think that's going to be a key differentiator for DeFi on Cosmos. And this is not the only DEX that's being built. There are other DEXs that are coming, and I'm particularly interested, super excited about Persistence guys, what they're doing with p-staking. It's a lot of amazing, crazy, like built up energy that's coming to fruition right now. I'm just super excited to just see what the possibilities are. Like, I would highly recommend people go swap tokens or use Osmosis to just get a feel for how smooth and frictionless DeFi could be on Cosmos. It's actually, it's actually kind of relaxed. I mean, relieving. Like it's amazing. Yeah. I think Cosmos will take DeFi to mainstream. I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, of course we will. Like, there is no doubt. Like, thank you so much, everyone. Like, I think was amazing. Like, I think was amazing. Like, thank you for everyone to join us today to join this amazing event. I hope, the first meeting of a IBC gang. Like, we'll do this again. Like, you have to get used because I will do this again. Thank you so much. So awesome. Next panel to Gregory and Peng. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, let me see. I think we are missing the moderator, but doesn't matter. It's coming. So I really wanted to have you guys talking about sustainability and the role that Gregory with Regen Network and Peng with Tendermint will play in this big topic. For me, this is a thing I'm really sensible about. I really love this side of Tendermint. So yeah, JD, please go.
Yeah. Thank you, Daniela. Hello, folks. I'm JD. So thanks for joining us for the Osmosis launch party today. This is pretty exciting. Really a great time to be here. So I'm joined by Peng, who was the first employee at Tendermint, where you are now the CEO of Tendermint Inc. Peng is also the owner-operator of, I hope I pronounced this right, Nylera Cosmos Hub Validator. Welcome, Peng.
That's right.
And then we also have Gregory, who is the CEO of Regen Network Development Inc., otherwise known as R&D. And he's the key visionary who's been stewarding the process of bringing Regen to mainnet. So welcome, Gregory. Thank you both for being here today.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to be here. It's such an exciting moment.
Yeah, it truly is. So now, before we go any further, Gregory, do you mind taking the time to explain just to the community what is Regen Network, and then maybe an explanation as to what the role of the Regen token is within the network?
Yeah, totally. So Regen Network is a public ecological accounting system, which includes plugins to be able to do data tracking around ecological health, like biodiversity or carbon, as well as the ability to issue assets like carbon credits or water quality credits or biodiversity credits. So one of the things I think people don't understand is these days, carbon markets and the larger sort of climate finance markets are getting bigger and bigger every year. So this year, the voluntary carbon markets increased 30%, and the price, average price of carbon went from something like $3 to something more like $10. And it looks like carbon credits are on their way over the next few years to be $100 plus. And that's being driven by the planetary need, business need, government need to take climate action to ameliorate the risks that are associated with accumulation of atmospheric carbon. And so we at Regen Network are essentially building the tools that are necessary for these markets and these actions to take place. Current carbon markets are a mess. They're completely, they're not transparent. You don't know who is saying what about where. It costs a lot to audit things. It's a classical case for the disintermediation that is possible with blockchain. However, none of it is possible with the old tools that are provided in the Ethereum virtual machine and other approaches to blockchain. You really need a sovereign application-specific blockchain that's being governed by the stakeholders themselves to generate the type of trust at the kind of cost that really allows things to work very smoothly. And so Regen Network is building one of the zones that will be dedicated to this ecological accounting. And so Regen Ledger, which is a public blockchain built in the Cosmos SDK, essentially provides all of the tooling for people to be able to mint high quality ecological assets. And what that means is we actually also provide tooling for digital signatures associated with claims. Like if there is an IoT device or a satellite device that is helping track ecological health, it can communicate with the blockchain in the process of minting the unique asset. And one of the things I think that's useful for people to know is actually our eco credit module and the way that we represent carbon credits and other assets on chain is actually a non-fungible token. So we create essentially batched fractional non-fungible tokens that have all of the metadata associated with these claims about public goods. And there's a whole sort of exciting creation of a new asset class, which is natural capital, which is accounting for the health of our ecosystems. It's internalizing previously externalized costs so that we can actually do business in a way that's regenerative, that's beneficial for the planet. And that is not really possible without tools like the Cosmos SDK. And I could go on a whole sort of rant at some point about how IBC is actually going to be pivotal for planetary carbon accounting. Like you can't do it without interoperation between sovereign accounting systems. It's just impossible, right? And so we at Regen Network are super grateful for the large community of people, Tendermint Inc., and many others who've been working for years to create these tools that we're now sort of putting together to create market mechanisms for these public goods and for climate action. So very exciting moment.
It is very exciting, and this is all this explanation. It's very innovative in a lot of ways. So thank you for that great explanation. And I would like to come back to your IBC point in a moment. But first, let's go to Peng. I want to get you to explain to us maybe you are very involved with Tendermint, obviously, the Tendermint core. So maybe can you talk to us about how Tendermint offers a more sustainable blockchain ecosystem, how it can enable a more sustainable blockchain ecosystem?
Yeah, I'm happy to explain. So sustainability, environmental sustainability has always been, a very core value when Tendermint was founded all those years ago, right? Tendermint, even the name, the brand name has mint in it, and the logo has elements of green in it. And we, the founder of Tendermint, Jaquan, saw in 2014, how much energy proof of work was going to take over time, right? And today it's an astronomical amount of power. And, you may argue the trade-off is worth it, and you will get, the most sort of decentralization you can get possible through, proof of work. But, is it the best, trade-off for the environment? We would argue it's not the best trade-off, right? We did some investigation recently, and Tendermint-powered blockchains are, compared to Ethereum, I'm not even going to compare it to Bitcoin, but compared to Ethereum, it's roughly 100,000 times cheaper in terms of annual electricity costs and 100,000 times lower in carbon footprint, right? And that's using the Cosmos Hub as the model, right? The Cosmos Hub secures, I don't know how much, like $3 billion right now. So, you can multiply 3 billion by 100,000 and, end up in the quadrillions or something. I'm not doing the math properly here, but the amount of value you can secure with Cosmos is far higher than the value that you would likely want to secure with proof of work chains. And we see this as the future, right? Cosmos is here for the long game. It's here for the next, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Just like how TCP IP has become the backbone for the internet, IBC will become the backbone for the next generation of the internet. And yeah, go ahead, Gregory.
I was just going to say, recently we did some work with Sotheby's to help offset their most recent NFT auction. And so we were just in the weeds around the numbers of just how much energy proof of work consumes compared to proof of stake. And literally, the Cosmos Hub or another sort of Tendermint secured Cosmos blockchain is a rounding error. It's less than an hour of Ethereum operations. The whole year of the Cosmos Hub operating is less than an hour of Ethereum. So, in order to offset this NFT auction, we had to offset, a period of time in which the auction was taking place, and most of the transactions had to do with the bidding. And let's just say, it cost more to offset just a single NFT auction for some really amazing art, CryptoPunks and other cool things, and it's all amazing. And this isn't, to really throw shade on proof of work, because I believe it has its place, but just the energy efficiency, the pure energy efficiency of a proof of stake system is just amazing when compared to the amount of security and data integrity it can provide. So just to echo what Peng is speaking about here.
Yeah, thank you for that. And so while we're on this subject, before we get away from it, Gregory, you'd mentioned that you could go on about how IBC can benefit. So maybe can you tell us how can IBC allow Regen to benefit other hubs and zones within the ecosystem?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So first, just to sort of unpack briefly what Regen Ledger does and what the role of the sort of staking token is. So Regen Ledger, as I noted, is a public blockchain that devotes its application logic, its statefulness to ecological accounting, right? To who said what about where, and to govern and curate the quality of the assets that are being generated on the ledger. And so Regen does a couple of things. One is it's a proof of stake token, so it governs the blockchain. So if there's going to be a software upgrade and we're going to put on the new data module that we have, or we're going to create sort of new governance around credit classes. These are things that everybody votes on and gets put up onto the ledger. It also has other features, of course, transacting, maintaining statefulness about the ecological data and the assets. And then there's a whole sort of curation and governance element, which we're working on, because you really need to be able to guarantee in some way, or I think guarantee is the right word, guarantee the quality of something like a carbon credit, right? Because you can't see a carbon credit. You can't see the carbon. You have to be able to prove where it came from. Is the tree actually there that, we're talking about? Is the soil really there? So we're sort of creating digital representations, digital twins of the real world. And there's enough complexity there that you need someone to curate it. You need scientists to basically say, I've audited this, I vetted it, I understand what's taking place here. So we bring that governance and that curation of those assets on chain. Again, so you know that there are sort of science groups, there are governmental agencies that have identity on the blockchain and are sort of auditing and signing off on the quality of the assets. So Regen, as a zone in the larger internet of blockchains, what we do is we create good assets that represent high quality natural capital assets like carbon credits. We govern them, we curate them, we ensure their integrity as a community. We mint them, and we also will make them exchangeable. But via IBC, we can move those assets to Osmosis, to Gravity DEX once it's live. We can move them across Gravity Bridge over into an Ethereum. But there always needs to be a place where there's a community that is dedicated to the science and the transparency and the governance of the quality of those assets. And that's what the Regen community does. It sort of creates quality assurance and transparency in a way that currently does not exist in carbon markets.
Yeah, thank you for that great explanation. It's very much something we need in this space. So just being mindful of time as we wrap up here. So we've talked about the now and the Osmosis launch. You mentioned the Regen token launch on Osmosis, which is very exciting. So maybe can we just talk a little bit about what do you see in the future? What does this mean for, we'll start with Peng. What does this mean for Tendermint as a Tendermint as the ecosystem, as the engine powering this ecosystem? And then Gregory, if you can go on about the future of Regen now that this is live.
Yeah, so Cosmos has incredibly strong networking effects, and AMMs like Osmosis, being sort of the first Cosmos interchain AMM here, is very crucial to that, right? It's not just something that we're all going to use, with the next panel, right? We're going to go check it out and LP ourselves and trade ourselves, but it's a crucial piece of infrastructure that allows every other chain to essentially use whatever token they want and accept payment in whatever token they want. It really starts to connect Cosmos into one thing as a whole. Beyond that, right? The idea of just the developer experience, the user experience that we're offering in the Cosmos ecosystem is meant to attract as many developers from proof of work ecosystems as possible. The Gravity Bridge, which is being voted on right now by atom holders, right, is a two-way street, but it will primarily be a way for Ethereum and ERC20 token holders to bring them over to Cosmos to be able to start, yield farming on Cosmos instead of Ethereum, and being able to, receive rewards, staking rewards, farming rewards, etc., without paying hundreds of dollars in fees and without, costing the environment as much as Ethereum has been right now.
Yeah, thank you for that. And Gregory?
Yeah, well, so as you mentioned, coming right up, we have a community run. So here's what's so fantastically exciting to me. So Regen Network, public blockchain dedicated to ecological health, cooperating, participating with Tendermint and other ecosystem partners. We have a community-run liquidity bootstrapping pool. Anyone in the world can now access and swap into Regen and participate in governance with us towards this mission. That's fantastic. What's happening right now with Osmosis and being able to do liquidity provision, yield farming, liquidity bootstrapping events, all natively available via IBC, means that it never has to be as hard as it was for Regen to spin up a blockchain, and create a community and bootstrap liquidity. We are all making it easier together for all of you in the audience who have a vision, who want something they want to bring to the world. This is the internet of blockchains. This is a place where bringing people together to create consensus about what's important to you is not only invited, but encouraged and now rewarded through this amazing access to liquidity. So it's pretty freaking exciting. And for those of you who missed what I was just saying is, hey, there is, starting, I think, on Wednesday, you can go and find a Regen Atom trading pair, and you can help support price discovery of the Regen token. And then soon, Regen token will also be on Gravity DEX, and there'll be liquidity and slippage-free AMMs to create the opportunity for the market to price our work in the world as a community and the value that we're providing to the rest of the ecosystem, and to enter and exit as they see fit as sovereign individuals. It is pretty freaking exciting.
There, what?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the AMM is live and people is freaking out because we have to show the tutorial live. So like, yeah, but I'm really thankful because like one topic is sustainability. You really like, we'll never talk enough about sustainability and how Cosmos is helping like the planet and also organization and people to go through like a really better life experience, really. So thank you so much, Gregory. Thank you so much, Peng. Like, thank you so much. Let's go like to the walkthrough of Osmosis Admin. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you both for joining me.
Oh, amazing. Like we are here again. Hi, Andrea. Hi. Like we have Andrea, Johnny, JD. Okay, amazing. Like, who is going to sacrifice himself to show us the tutorial? And first of all, Osmosis DEX launched, it's live. Congratulations, guys! Great work! Finally. So exciting.
Osmosis is live.
Yeah. Please, Didi.
Yeah, so now that it's live, let's go through what are we doing here? What is Osmosis? So you can start. First thing you're going to do, you're going to head to osmosis.zone on your Google, using Google Chrome. And another thing you'll have to do, you'll want to come over and get set up with Keplr wallet. Keplr is the interchain wallet and supports IBC assets and other Cosmos ecosystem chains. So this is Keplr is the only wallet supporting Osmosis right now. So first thing you do, make sure you're set up with Keplr. If you're importing from your other wallets, just do so safely and make sure you're mindful of your personal security on your way in. So once you're done, set up with Keplr, you'll come to the Osmosis site and then just easily click enter the lab. And once we get in, this is my first go through with everybody as we come through. We got this warning coming up. Osmosis is a decentralized peer-to-peer blockchain that people can use to create liquidity and trade IBC-enabled tokens. Okay, I'm seeing this is our disclaimer. So do make sure you take the time, read through this. This is all of your essential information telling you about the risks, and just make sure you're aware that you are, obviously you're clicking, I understand the risks and would like to proceed, and I want to enter Osmosis. I have read this. I think it all sounds great.
Yeah, guys, please take always the time to read the disclaimers. This is not financial advice. We are using product built by amazing team, brilliant people, but always be aware about what can happen. Always awareness. We cannot never empathize enough the important role of awareness in the world of the blockchain. So please, if you have any question, jump in the Osmosis channel, jump in the Keplr channel, but please ask. Don't worry, don't keep any doubt for yourself. No questions are stupid, never.
Yeah, and yes, and remember that to only invest what you can afford to lose. Don't go YOLO your life savings into Osmosis right now. It's just launched today, just minutes ago. So once you get in here, you're gonna click on airdrop. Now, just to go over the Osmo fair drop, they're calling it. Osmo was fair dropped to addresses that were staking Atom based on the snapshot of the Cosmos Hub Stargate launch. This was on February 18th, 2021. So if you were staking Atom on that day, then you will have qualified for the first 20% of your airdrop, which you'll see here right now it says ineligible, I'm not connected. So what we're gonna do, click on connect. Keplr is gonna pop up, let me know that Osmosis Zone wants to connect to my Osmosis 1. I'm gonna approve that. And I'm now in with my wallet. I've got loaded up, make sure. And I've got an error. Too many requests. Okay.
Oh!
We will see how this goes. So
I just read it worked.
Yeah.
We already freeze Osmosis. Amazing.
So the first thing you'll see, mission number 0, hold Atom on February 18th. And I was staking Atom, but obviously right now it won't let me claim.
Yeah, not only holding, but holding outside centralized exchanges. So holding inside a non-custodial wallet. This was a requirement for be eligible.
So I'm just gonna sign out and try connecting again. Here we go. Okay.
Yay!
Worked out here. So I've got my first 20% of my airdrop just by connecting to Osmo, connecting my Keplr to Osmosis. Not too bad. What are we going to do next? mission number one. Before we add to a liquidity pool, we might want to go to make a swap, just because I don't have any atom yet. So what are we going to do? We're going to see if there's any swaps available. We'll go with one atom, or one Osmo. What does that get? I'm going to go with 2. I don't know what's happening here with the pools. Obviously, beware, as you're here on day 1, people are creating the pools themselves, and so the price is very much going to be going through some discovery. Let's see what happens when I
This is
click
very
swap.
volatile today.
You're going to be brought to Kepler. It's going to pop up. You're going to verify everything looks good. Choose your fee because the option's there. I'm going to go low fee. Let's see if that works.
Yeah, now like in the sharing screen, you are not able to see for the audience. Like the audience is not able to see like the actual signature of Kepler. But when you are going to click on swap, you always need to confirm the transaction via Kepler extension. And Kepler will always ask you the confirmation of a transaction you are going to do.
And so we are getting errors. We'll try a high fee. See if that'll go through.
I mean, this is something like, it's not unexpected because like I saw this like also like, I don't know, with a secret network bridge. Yeah, that's successful when
it worked.
Yeah, it went
Look
through.
at that. So let's go back to the airdrop page. Let's see what happened. So I have more Osmo. I unlocked another 20% of my airdrop just by making a swap. So I set it to high fee and it went through. Setting on low fee did not. So now that we've got that done, I'm just going to, let me just make another little swap just to have a little more atom to put into a liquidity pool. And then we'll move on to the next step. Oh, this is really exciting.
Yay!
We've entered Osmosis.
Such faster.
Yeah, they made it.
So there we go. Now we're going to go on to the next mission, adding liquidity to a pool. Now, when you're adding liquidity to a pool, because governance hasn't gone active, there are no incentivized pools just yet. So once you get into the pool section, you can kind of review. As you can see, I have no active pools, so nothing up here. But down here, we can look at the pools, and I see the 50/50 Atom Osmo pool. Let's click on that. Take a look, and let's get right into. Here's give me a moment to regroup my thoughts. I'm just figuring this out as I'm going with everybody. So yeah,
That's why it's perfect.
From here, we're going to, next step, we're just going to remove liquidity. What do I have here? I only bought a limited amount of atoms, so I'm going to go with what I have of it, 0.19 atom.
Just remember, you always need to leave a little bit for fees.
Yes, and on Osmosis, the gas is in Osmo. For initially, who knows what will happen in the future with IBC allowing all kinds of magic. So from here, I just want to do a little bit. This is just to test and make sure, figure out and understand how things are working. So I like to go and test with small amounts first, just in case you never know what's going to happen. Add liquidity, and then Kepler is going to ask me to confirm. See what happens.
Actually, I'm quite impressed that almost, I was saying almost all the transactions are like successful, but no, but actually considering the amount of people who are trying right now, like the website, like, yeah, I'm quite sure there is a huge amount of interaction in the dashboard.
Oh yeah.
We'll try another one, see what happens. No, this one failed. So right now I'm having issues with adding liquidity. But for now, let's go back. So that'll be my next step. That'll unlock another 20% of my Osmo fair drop. Up next, staking Osmo. Let's go with that. So for that, you're going to click on the staking dashboard or staking icon, which is going to bring you to the Kepler wallet staking dashboard. And once you get here, you're going to see the list of validators available. You can scroll
And
through
of course, you're going to stake with Dimi.
No.
So once you get to this page, staking Osmo is a very important contribution to the network. When you're staking in this sense, you're staking to help secure the network with the validators. So the most important thing here is you're going to want to consider the validators' commissions as well as the self-bonded rates. And then you'll also just want to make sure that you're with a validator that you trust. Make sure that you trust them to be a good actor within the network. So just things to keep in mind when you're looking through. So you can go through the whole list of validators. I'm going to go myself with, who should I pick for this one? I'm going to go with cephalopod. I like cephalopods. Octopuses are pretty cool.
Okay,
I like cephalopod equipment, and so let's go with, I'm going to stake 10 Osmo, half of my Osmo staking to a validator.
Just to remember to people that usually we never suggest if possible, we never suggest to stake with the first pools.
Yeah.
Because we tend to ask people to decentralize the network, keep it secure. Like in this case, like with a network like launched from a day, like the validators are really variable because like all people are still have to claim like their airdrops and everything. But in general, like we suggest like to just, if possible, avoid the first 10 position.
Yeah, it is very important to factor decentralization. That should always be a priority. Obviously, for demo purposes, I was picking a validator just briefly to move on, and we'll move back. I'm going to hit refresh.
Another thing really important is that, as we can see, like now the unbonding is 14 days. It's not 21 as Cosmos is. So it's different. Like always check like the, every time you want to bond some token, always check the unbonding period, how long it is, because not every chain is the same.
Yeah, the 14-day unbonding period is unique to Osmosis from other Cosmos chains that require the 21-day unbonding. And so now you'll see mission number 3 is completed. I have staked Osmo, and I now have 60% of my fair drop. So the last step is to vote on a governance proposal, which, as you'll see, when I click on that, we don't yet have any proposals to vote on. So this one will have to wait until we get a proposal put up, which I'm very excited to see what our first Osmosis proposal will be.
Yeah.
And so the last thing I just want to see, let's try one more time to add liquidity.
Yeah, only one thing about like the governance proposal, like for all the Osmosis like stakers, like Sunny always said from the very beginning that he wants Osmosis to be really fast, like really an experimental app. So you have to expect like frequent proposal. So if usually you check like the governance section, like every 20, every month, like you really have to keep an eye on the Osmosis Telegram channel, the announcement channel, and here.
So it worked. I was able to add liquidity. And so now on the active pools page, I'm able to see my active pools. So when you click on it, you can see there's the total amounts and my amounts. Not much in there, but it's enough. So when after this, you come back to the airdrop page, and I am now 80% claimed of my airdrop. The last step is to vote on the governance proposal, which again, once we get that up, I'm excited to see what it is. So that's Osmosis. There we go. We've now claimed as much of the airdrop as we can to this point. If anybody has any questions, go to the Osmosis channel on Telegram, on Discord. And then we're also going to have the Osmosis walkthrough posted on the Osmosis blog. So check into that and to stay up to date. And otherwise, just enjoy interchain finance as it's been brought into our ecosystem now.
Okay, amazing. Like one thing, like no, this is really amazing. Like not be ironic, but we have like Dimi. Like Dimi, please, like we want to make people aware, like of all the sides. Like we saw that the interface is so intuitive, so like easy to use, is amazing. But there are risks, like when we make an action. For example, when we add liquidity, we have some problems, some effects. For example, like impermanent loss. Like, can you briefly talk to people about like what is this?
Yeah, for sure. So about Osmosis, the impermanent loss is mitigated using incentivized pools. Because, when we talk about impermanent loss, we talk about that not realized gain that you suffer when you deposit both sides on a liquidity pool, and one of the two tokens maybe skyrocket, and then you have less of that token and more on the other side. But on Osmosis, this problem is mitigated using incentivized pools. Because if you provide the liquidity, you will get also rewards from the incentivized governance that we will have on place. So I would recommend to wait and see which pools will be incentivized through governance, and maybe add the liquidity to that. And yeah, another thing that we need to take care of is that when we press, for example, deposit atom on the Osmosis web app, in reality, we are doing an IBC transaction from a Cosmos hub to Osmosis. And that can take some time. It depends on when the relayers will see our magic packet, IBC packet, on the other chain, and will decide to relay to Osmosis. So that process can take some time. And yes, we need to be patient.
Yeah, like.
I just wanted to add one bit that there's still 60 days to claim your airdrop. Like today is day 59. There's still 59 more days to do all of these steps and to do what JD did. Like it only took like 5 minutes, but you have 59 days to do that still.
Yeah, just take your time, like look out to scammers, like take all the time to import the account on Kepler. Like wait, like there is no difference from importing in 5 minutes and importing your account, like doing things properly. Always double check everything. Never copy like on clouds online your seed phrase. Yes, like we have the time to do things properly. Like this security is the first thing. Security is so important. Like it's why we are here. Like because we want to own our money, but our money is a responsibility, and we have to know how to take care about it. So yeah, again, if you have any doubt about how to do things properly, like how to swap things properly, how to use tools, ask, like really ask. Another thing, Dimi, from you are like a double validator, like because you have a validator, like, and you are confusing, like you have like validators everywhere. But the cool thing is, like, are you starting like your own validator because like you find this? Like, what is the meaning you find to be a validator? Like, what is the contribution like you want to bring being personally a validator this time?
Yes, of course. So running a validator is not, of course, an hobby. And when you decide to run a validator on a network, you need to take count that you will be responsible for a lot of different things. So first thing for sure is the security of the network. So you need to be sure that your validator is running smoothly. But beside that, you have also governance responsibility. You will have always, you need to participate active in governance. And me personally, I like also to contribute directly to the network where I am validating on. So doing pull requests to GitHub source code and all this kind of stuff. I think it's very important, and help growing the ecosystem is essential, especially in a decentralized network like this. Yeah.
Oh, I again.
Hello
Maybe.
again, Sunny.
Maybe
Hey,
I'm
hey.
not sure. Okay.
We're live this time.
Yeah, we are live, Sunny. We are live. Like we just show like Osmosis like, to the world. Like how
How are you
exciting!
feeling?
Congratulations, Sunny.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm just watching the Telegram and just we were not expecting this much. Like the Kepler wallet is being like overloaded right now with like requests and stuff. So we were just on a call with Pigment just now, who's like they're running the backend node for us at the moment, and so we're like, we increased the rate limits.
I think like you were the only one not expecting this kind of result, because like I think everyone expected to see this. Like maybe just you. Like I think it's just a matter of you, because I expected this. Like actually.
Yeah.
So guys, like on YouTube, like on the channel, I will try to check everything. If you have some question for Sunny, like he's here, you can like for a little bit like answer like to everyone. So please let us know if you have any questions. But I mean, even Johnny, like JD, Dimi, if you have any question for Sunny, because like I think like Osmosis is something really new for everyone. So like I mean, I have tons of questions, but I talk too much. So please.
Well, I was thinking we could take some questions from the comments. I was trying to look through them real quick. But yeah, I think it went really smooth. We watched. What?
I guess an initial.
Or what can I see the questions?
An initial question I'll ask while we look for one is governance is coming up. So is there an idea when the first governance proposal will be, or maybe an idea what the first proposal might be?
Yeah, so we'll have a couple of proposals. I imagine there'll actually be a lot of proposals coming up in the coming days. So especially to get the liquidity mining incentives turned on. So at the moment, there's that 45% of liquidity mining incentives. Right now, it's actually pointed at the community pool. So all of that's going into the community pool right now. And we need to make a governance proposal to actually turn on the or like say, hey, let's add incentives to this pool. And so I think there's a lot of people who are going to be making those governance proposals in the coming days. So that's I think that will be one. I think there's a couple of more just like one that I think we'll have to do is Dimi, as well as a couple other validators, actually there's supposed to be a minimum commission rate of 5% on Osmosis. And the code is supposed to check to make sure that like all validator commission rates are at least 5%. We're trying to avoid this sort of race to the bottom of commission rates that we saw on the Cosmos Hub that Sika may or may not have contributed to. And so
I will update my rates.
We accidentally didn't do it in the. I didn't verify that in the Genesis transaction. So if you're a Genesis validator, you were able to put less than 5%, and that was like, a mistake that I made. But so we'll probably have to have a governance proposal to figure out how to solve that. So that will be an opportunity for people to vote. And so the voting period is actually really fast right now. It's only 3 days. So we expect we like people to be like very active in the voting. It's very short right now, just so we can get these liquidity mining incentives turned on as soon as possible, and then we'll like extend it to like a more reasonable time frame so everyone can like breathe and not have to be reading governance proposals all day.
Yeah, I'm looking forward myself. I've been the governance experimentation was always something I was interested in with Osmosis. So, Johnny, are there any questions you want to field from the comments?
Yeah, I mean, there's some basic questions like how do you change gas from Osmo to Atom?
So at the moment on Kepler, what you can do is they'll have the option of which transaction fee to use. If you hit low, that will actually send a 0 fee transaction, and so I recommend doing that right now. Basically, and then basically the next 1 week, validators will start to add the minimum commission fee, minimum fees, and in like all the different tokens.
Okay, maybe another thing, maybe a thing like I would like to ask personally, like we know like the IBC transfers are like enabled, we can do that, but like Sunny, what do you think? Because I hear a lot of people is keep trying like sending interstate transaction, but I will say, are they ready? Like, is Osmosis like ready to like transfer with any other connected hub? We should wait. What should you say?
Right. So I mean, yeah, any of the, if you go to the Osmosis website and there's the apps page, any of those chains can start to transfer. We have dedicated relayers for all of those channels. So big thank you to the Bitwit team and the Informal team. So we have there's actually a couple of different relayer implementations, and so we have one the Golang based relayer that the Bitwit team is running, and we have the Rust based relayer that the Informal team is running. So that way we have like sort of two redundant copies of if there's any issues with one. I know that there are people who are having some issues with the front end right now and with the relaying. I believe that the biggest issue right now is it's probably actually primarily coming from a rate limit standpoint on the RPC node. So I just request people to be a little bit patient and don't just keep retrying it, because I think there's just so much load being going onto the Kepler wallet right now, and so that's sort of what's causing that issue.
Yeah, it's like a bottleneck of the interface more than like on the structure itself. Okay, like another.
We're also in touch with like the Akash team about this, where it's like this is kind of what Akash is for as well, where it's like, okay, how could we like quickly scale up to like as many nodes as possible on Akash and like have it so we can avoid these sort of like rate limit problems.
Did it just like, okay, I thought we were lagging for a moment. There's a couple good questions in the comments now. Someone's asking about, it looks like, I've seen that in the future we'll be able to stake and provide liquidity with tokens already staked. I think they're talking about like.
Yes. So
yeah, that question.
Yeah. So
I know you guys are working on stuff. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So this is a feature that we have in development called reverse staking derivatives. So right now, also staking derivatives in general. What's happening is, let's say you have Osmo, right? You have this choice right now of like, should I stake it or should I use it in the liquidity pools? And then the same goes for if you have any other asset. Let's say you have atoms, right? You now have to decide, should I be staking it or should I be liquidity providing with it? And this is not that great. And so what we want is the ability for you don't have to make that decision. I think one of the most important posts that came out in the last in crypto, post from Dan Ellitzer, maybe 2 years ago. He called it super fluid collateral, where it's okay, the same collateral can be used for multiple things. And so why can't I take my atom and stake it and then also use it in liquidity provisioning? So we're working on ideas for staking derivatives of how to do that for other chains. So you don't have to choose for atoms. But for Osmo, we're actually very, we want to be very cognizant of the security system of Osmo and proof of stake. And so, we spent a lot of time developing proof of stake, and I think a lot of the traditional proof of stake or staking derivative systems don't take the security considerations of the network into account. So what we did is we're designing something called reverse staking derivatives, where what you can do is once you can take Osmo and another token, let's say, I don't know, FooCoin, and you deposit and you LP both of them, right? And you get back what's called an LP share. It represents your ownership of that pool. Well, we should allow you to actually be able to stake that LP share itself in the staking system. And as long as it can be treated as the underlying Osmo value. So if you put in 50 Osmo and 50 FooCoin and you stake the LP share, it'll be treated as 50 Osmo. But then as the value of the pool changes, the value that it's treated at will also have to change. And so this is really cool because this means, the value is still locked and it's still, slashable, but it's exposed, it's earning this like LP rewards and like swap fees and stuff along with the staking rewards at the same time. Sorry if that was a bit, rambly. Like I said, I have very little sleep right now, but we'll have like a good blog post and stuff, explaining this idea.
I think you explained it pretty well. There are a lot of questions here actually, which is pretty exciting. I know you guys are talking about Kepler's talking about a mobile app. They said that they've been working on that, and then people are asking, that question.
So so Kepler is working on a mobile app right now. I'd have to check with Josh to see what they're
okay. If you can wait 1 minute, Josh will join.
Okay. Well, I'll let him answer that then. Another thing that I know people are talking about as well a lot is Cosmos Station. And so, they're running a validator and they have mint scan up and everything. And I believe, we've been in touch with them and they said that they should have Cosmos Station available pretty soon as well, at least so you can stake and vote from it. And the things you can normally do from Cosmos Station. It might take a little bit longer for the swapping functionality to come to Cosmos Station. So for now, that will be primarily through the desktop until we get something set up.
Sure. Well, since Josh isn't here yet, do you want to skip to how can I earn / buy Osmo?
Yeah, sure.
I know you guys were talking about incentives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a couple of ways you can earn Osmo. The two main ones are by staking and by LPing. So for staking, you kind of already need to have Osmo, and you can stake it to a validator, and that helps secure the network, and you'll start to earn staking rewards. The other though is if you have you can LP, and so this is when the liquidity mining incentives come in. What will happen is we'll say that, governance will say, okay, the Atom AKT pool, we want to incentivize that, and specifically the lockup length. I'll come back into the bonding lengths in a second, but we want to incentivize that pool. So what you can do is you can come in, bring Atom and AKT, bond both of, you LP them, you get back this LP share. But then what you can do is you can bond your LP share. So you have Atom AKT, you bond it, and you say, I want to bond it with a 1-day unbonding period. And if that's what governance is incentivizing, then you're going to be able to start earning Osmo just by, providing liquidity and bonding that liquidity.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Present yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Josh, also known as Dojmos, one of the co-founders at Osmosis, as well as Kepler wallet. Been just kind of busy trying to launch this thing and helping troubleshoot users as well. So yeah, happy to be here.
You both have an Osmosis beard. You can see the work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been.
So can you please, there was a question about Kepler roadmap, why mobile wallet and in general, what network will be advanced next and etc. Can you please briefly explain what is coming for chain updates on Kepler like in the next few months?
Yeah, sure thing. I'm wondering if I can actually show it on my phone because it's like we have the beta version of it ready. It's not like super pretty or anything, but I mean a lot of the functionalities works. So in summary, I think it's coming together. And we like kind of the features that we have. You're gonna be very familiar with it. It's the same interface as the extension, but we are kind of thinking with the same mindset of, you want users to be able to sign transactions from their phone. They don't need to maybe have to install an extension, because sometimes, we do agree that even though we're building an extension, extensions can get clunky, right? So yeah, so here's, it's right there. You see my balance, and you can stake and everything. So yeah, like Kepler Mobile is there. It's coming together. It's not super pretty yet. But yeah, and then another exciting development on this front, I think, is like Wallet Connect, which is something that we are hoping to be able to support kind of right at the launch of Kepler Mobile as well. And another thing is, I think it's really important that users, be able to have access to these DeFi infrastructure such as Osmosis and be able to kind of swap from their phone without having to, just even having to jump into any type of web browser or anything. So we are planning on adding some of these swaps features into Kepler as well. And we're hoping that, this would generate transactions where maybe, some of these users don't need to LP. They just want to switch one token to another. And Osmosis can kind of provide that gateway and additional volume for, a lot of these Cosmos zones and just kind of routing through Osmosis as well.
Yeah, like we have a spoiler of the Kepler Mobile.
Yeah,
like,
hopefully.
Do we have other question?
Yeah, there's more questions. The next one I would say is like, what's Ion? What is
I don't
Ion?
know.
Is it a secondary token?
I don't know what it is, to be completely honest.
No, this is the light of a spoiler. Like I want the views. Like tell us like what is Ion like? Like at least int.
I literally have no idea. Like 2 nights ago, I was just so tired. I pulled an all-nighter, and then I don't know what I did. I woke up in the morning and there was like this Ion file. I don't even know what the distribution is. I don't know how it happened. Like it just happened. I don't know. Maybe I fell asleep on my desk and like one of my friends came and hacked this. I don't know what happened, to be honest.
Things get weird in the lab. Ghosts come out.
Someone spilled some.
There's something weird that's some weird guy that broke into a lab.
Amazing. Like I don't know. Like I have a sensation of this Ion will be a thing. Like I don't know, but it will be a thing.
Do you have any Ions?
I literally had to organize all this. Like I had no the time. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I was eligible, but I have no idea. Like I have not touched like Kepler. I don't know.
I opened my account and I apparently have 2 Ions, so I don't really know how that happened, but that's what I have.
like magic.
So people are asking how high is the APY of the Osmo staking rewards? I guess the question for that is like, what's the inflation look like too?
Sorry, what was the question? One more time? Or is it,
I guess what is Osmosis inflation rate?
Yes, the Osmosis inflation rate is it works a little bit differently than most Cosmos chains. And most Cosmos chains have this target inflation rate per year, and we actually don't do that. What we have is we follow the third-inning schedule that was laid out. We have a blog post on the token distribution, and so what essentially will happen is there's 100 million tokens today at Genesis. In the first year, an additional 300 million will be minted. So, and of that, 25% is set aside for staking rewards. So you can say that 75 million tokens will be distributed as staking rewards over the next 1 year. and you split, that happens daily. So divided by 365, it's something around 200,000 tokens per day, and then that gets split amongst all delegators based off of their stake rates. It's hard to give an exact APY number right now because it really does depend on how many people stake. Because the amount of staking rewards per day is fixed. It doesn't depend on how many people are staked. And so, the more people that stake, that reward amount gets diluted amongst more people. The less people that stake, it gets more concentrated. So it's hard to predict right now. But I think you can see it on explorers and stuff at least, and see what the API will be.
Nice, thank you. All right, one more question, and then I think maybe we should move on to the end. I think maybe a good question to end it on is, what is the ideal vision for Osmo in the coming years, in the next years?
Yeah, so the ideal vision
how do you guys see it developing?
Yeah, so right now our main focus has been bringing some of the features from the best Ethereum dexes into Cosmos. So we brought ideas from Balancer, Curve, etc. But the next steps, we really want to focus heavily on the privacy and front running side of things. For me, actually, Osmosis started where Dave and I, from the Sika angle, it started because Dave and I were trying to build a threshold decryption scheme where we were like, hey, we're seeing all this front running and MEV happening on Ethereum, and we're like, hey, I think that we can actually solve this. And our solution is actually interesting because it's a solution that works specifically on Tendermint-based chains. So it's like, okay, this is really cool. Let's start building out this threshold decryption thing. And then what we realized was like, hey, okay, well, this is a really cool feature. We need a product for this. And so this is when we sort of joined forces with the Chainapsis team, and we're like, hey, and so they had actually started already building this Osmosis, the V1 of Osmosis or V0 as a hackathon project 8 months ago. And we're like, okay, let's build out this Osmosis thing, launch it, and then we're going to add in our threshold decryption work that we were working on. And so, really focusing on that front running prevention, build in as much fairness to traders as possible. Don't let, these people front run you and sandwich attack you and all that kind of stuff. On top of that, we want a lot of privacy features. So, one of the things I've heard complaints of from friends who trade on centralized exchanges, and I'm like, why, have you guys checked out DEXs? And they're like, no, because that will just leak my entire trading strategy. Everyone will be able to see exactly what trades I'm doing, and they'll just be able to copy my trading strategies. And so that's okay, how do we solve that? How can we build good practical privacy? I think there's some projects that are doing really amazing work on privacy, but it's it might be years out before we can see something in production. And so we're taking the approach all right, what's the best amount of privacy we can get that solves the use cases that most people have as fast as possible? So that's one thing that we're working on. And then the last thing is just more powerful pools. So that includes adding in that governance for the pools, but then also just adding in new features for the pools. Just in the last 6 months since we started Osmosis, AMMs have come a long way, right? Uniswap V3 came out 3 months ago. Curve V2 just was announced a couple of weeks ago, and we looked at the design. We're like, oh, this is amazing. We were actually working on a design that was extremely similar to what Curve V2 ended up doing, and so we're like, okay, this is good because we were on the right track, and so that provided some validation. So we definitely want to incorporate that Curve V2 design into Osmosis as well. And then I think there's going to be just all sorts of new AMM designs and bonding curve designs and stuff that we'll start to add over time.
And to add to that, I think it's some of these things that Sunny mentioned it's amazing because a lot things like threshold decryption that's perfectly suited for sovereign blockchains, which is the entire point of Cosmos, right? People can try to build MEV protection on Ethereum, and it either has to be some type of economic thing, or it's incentivized, or it's just going to cost a lot of money, right? Whereas because we are building on a sovereign Cosmos chain, there are so much more things that we can do, and we can do it in a much more efficient manner. and I think just kind of like perfectly highlights, Osmosis just kind of is like the right fit for a lot of these things that Cosmos push for, actually like in a working product. And I love seeing this like with IBC and some of these, consensus things that we may need to change for some of these things, and just perfectly highlights why Cosmos was built in the first place. And I love that.
Any other like really relevant question for us? For not for me, for them. No? Yeah. Okay, we're not.
Oh, I was muted.
We're not able to. Yeah, we're not able to hear you. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
he's here
think
now.
that's pretty much.
Oh, like the double, like no. Like this is not correct. This is not correct. Like we are all alone in our houses, and no, I do not.
It's okay. We're in Miami. COVID just doesn't exist in Miami, apparently.
Like I'm in Italy, and I can literally no. Like there is like Italy option right now.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for making the time, Sunny, Josh, both of you, and big props, big ups to the entire Osmosis team. This is amazing. What an achievement! What a milestone! But really, it's only the beginning.
Sweet. Yeah. No. Especially thank you guys for putting on this entire community event. We were just like
blown away.
Yeah. Big thank you to you guys for organizing this.
Yeah.
All the validators, all the everyone who's been involved with like making this possible. Thank you.
Definitely.
Okay, like to everyone, just a remark that like as community always incentivize people to educate themselves, like with our help of themselves. Like we are organized like a visual game with the help of OmniFlix, like to help you to understand a little bit more about Osmosis, test your knowledge, and see if maybe you have like to read an article or two more before like to get started with Osmosis. So like just check the link we will drop in the Osmosis Telegram channel, and please like try the test. Like I will personally drop I don't know if I have them, but maybe the Osmo I have in my wallet and were waiting for me, like I will be more than happy to share with them, because like really we want to push to share knowledge and awareness. So please, let's play the game.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, thank you so much to everyone, really, because I am the most introverted person in the world, like ever, really. But I enjoyed so much like this live stream. I was like, oh my god, like I'm talking with people, like I did not realize. So thank you, really. I hope we will have more time, more occasion to highlight more the value that Osmosis and validators as Dimi and community people like JD and Johnny can bring to the ecosystem together. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Happy Osmosis Day.
Yeah.